it's not just semi-detached. It's pretty much anything under $2.5 million is in multiple offers, sometimes as much as 15 offers, but commonly 3 offers. It's really an accelerated market, spring market brought on by COVID. If you remember last year before the COVID of March, when we were first introduced to it for the lockdown, we were in a pretty hot market then, and then we came to a dead stop. And then there was an adjustment period because supply was constrained and real estate just went off the rails. So you now have arrived to this year, the spring market's off with a strong start. It's 2 to 3 times greater than last year, same time. It's up about 20% greater than the peak of 2017. In fact, real estate prices are up 15% over the same time last year. So it had the year to accelerate, but when you compare January to January, that's up 15%, pretty serious. Condo sales lagged through 2020 as people were adjusting to COVID in tight spaces, but they roared back in January, I think, as Michael just said. And prices were only, after all that correction last year, only down 5%. Luxury is on fire. I'm looking at the activity, 2 times greater, over 3 million, 2.5 times greater, over $5 million price range, over 10 million, it's 400% greater. And I think we'll talk more about this mentality shift that's going on with consumers as well as sellers, but I think I'll leave that for your next question.
We are a vertical city. We're going to continue to be a vertical city. There was a lot of confusion at the beginning of this pandemic, even to the point where people thought they shouldn't go outside. And we actually know it's better for you to be outside than to be inside. The air is better outside than it is, the odds are, in your home. But there was a lot of confusion about what can I do? Where am I safe? Where am I not safe? But the good news is that Asia, which is ahead of us, has already done and undertaken a tremendous amount of research. And you do not find any outbreaks that have happened in high-rise buildings or in elevators. There's just no story like that. We do see tremendous outbreaks in places where there are shared surfaces and where people stay for an extended period of time. Long-term care homes is a good example of that. We also know in office settings where people worked for a long period of time side by side, contagion took place. But contagion in elevators, contagion in transit, there's no documentation across the globe that these are risky environments. Still wear your mask, but this is really important analysis. We better understand that. I do think part of what's happened in the context of the past 6 months has been because of the uncertainty, people have retreated and become very, very careful. Rightly so. If you have an elderly parent or you're immunocompromised, wanting to get away from people, particularly in light of the uncertainty, is not surprising. But I think Michael hit the nail on the head when he said, we're social beings, we're social creatures. And I think some of us might have enjoyed the lockdown the first time around. It was sort of, we hunkered down. I don't know a lot of people that are enjoying it right now. Everyone I know is going sort of bananas and cannot wait to go out to a restaurant, to go to a Raptors game, to be walking down the street freely. I have full confidence that we are going to return to our very urban ways. And cities are about sharing things. You share amenities, you share experiences, you share a smile or a laugh on the street. I believe that is going to come. I really do. I believe it's going to come roaring back. The housing market will parallel that. So I think that, if I had to make a prediction, I think that you're going to see the suburban market deflate as the economy opens up again, as we all get our vaccines and we go back to living the way we want to live, which is in communities where we can interact with people. And I also agree on the employment side. I think there's going to be a mix moving forward in the future. We've been through a digital transformation. The fact that we're all doing this in this format is a reflection of that. It's not like we go back to not having been through a digital transformation. That has happened. But in keeping with the comments about being a social people, I think we'll want a combination. That will mean some people will have the option of now living in the suburbs without a long commute because they can work on a screen. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing, but it won't upend our urbanism.